Hey, what's up, guys? It's Austin here. And in today's story time, I'm telling you probably about one of the funniest times I've ever gotten detention ever. And yeah, let's just jump into this. So, the story time takes place in freshman year of high school for me. I had this teacher slash tutor that I would go to almost every day. It was like every other day. And she would help me with homework, stuff like that. And she was fairly young. She was probably like in her 30s. So, she was younger for most teachers I had. And she was pretty cool to me. I never really had a problem with her. Sometimes she'd yell at me when I wasn't paying attention, but like for the most part, she was cool. And this all started off as a normal day. And I got finished with lunch, and my class that day with her was right after lunch. So I'm walking to her classroom after lunch, and literally there's only like two other people that have this class with me. So I was the first one to arrive, and I look through the window first, and I see her, probably the most burnt image in my mind. I see her sitting on the table, like ass up on the desk, and her looking at her phone, like above her head, and her like kind of pulling on her shirt, and I realize she's taking like a provocative selfie to send to someone or to like post somewhere. I don't know if she has some like secret Finstagram where she like posts bad teacher photos, but like I don't fucking know. At the time I was like, wait, am I seeing what I think I am? And then I kind of realized, I'm like, okay, she's taking a selfie. A very provocative kind of one at that, especially in the workplace. Like, come on, teacher. Like, you really gonna just bust your phone out and take a picture like that before you have students come in your room? Now, I know that one perv is gonna comment and be like, so Luna, was she hot? Well, to answer your question, this isn't fucking Pornhub. It's school. So most teachers in my school, aren't really there to be like that. So no, not really. It was my fucking teacher. So seeing this, I was like, okay, what the fuck? So I opened the door so she could realize, like, oh, there's a student here. Let me get off the desk and stop taking this selfie for my boyfriend or wherever it was going to go. So I opened the door, and she jumps off the desk real quick. She's like, Austin. And I was like, what? And she's like, you ever heard of knocking? And I'm like, wait, what? No, this is the class I have right now. And she goes, I don't care if you have the class right now. Knock first before you walk in like that. And I was like, this is a school classroom, and it's passing time, like the bell rang, which means you're supposed to have your door open to welcome students. She's like, I can do what I want in my classroom. And I was like, yeah, clearly. And she's like, you know what? Tomorrow you got lunch detention with me. And I was like, are you serious? She's like, yeah, I'm serious. And I'm just thinking in my head, like, is this lady actually serious? She's angry because I walked into the class that I had at this time, on this day, and didn't knock. Keep in mind, I had walked in like this every other day of the year. So, like, this one time was clearly just because she was mad that I interrupted her, like, selfie or whatever. So I was like, look, I'm not coming to lunch detention. And she's like, yeah, you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. We both know that. She's like, okay, well, if you don't come, then you'll have real detention. I was like, okay, how about instead you just send that little selfie you just took to the principal instead of giving me detention, and then we'll see who really gets in trouble. And she's like, excuse me? I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, I'm not saying you did anything wrong. Nothing you did was technically wrong. It was just a little bit, like, I guess inappropriate for work hours. You know what I mean? Like, you can wait to take a selfie till after school. Like, you don't got to do it now. And, like, don't be mad at me for just happening to walk in while you were doing it. And she's like, me taking a selfie isn't wrong at all. I'm like, I'm not saying it's wrong for the second time. And she's like, you know what? Just get out of my classroom. You're out of here for the day. And I was like, awesome. And I turn around and I start walking away, and I open the door and I see my two friends coming in who have class with me on that day too. And she was just like, and by the way, come to lunch detention tomorrow. And I turn around and I go, no. And I just walked away. And the next day I came back to school and I didn't go to lunch detention that day. So I knew in the back of my mind that it was going to be pretty awkward when I showed up to her class the day after that. So you're probably wondering, Luna, what happened? Well, the next day I walked into her classroom after lunch, and I sit down, and she just looks at me, and she goes, Austin, come here for a second. And I stand up, and I walk over there. And she's like, you skipped lunch detention. I was like, I know, because I didn't do anything worthy of getting lunch detention. And she's like, you know I could give you a real detention right now for skipping it, but I'm not going to be mean, so let's just put this behind us. I'm like, okay, sure. And she's like, all right, cool, have a good class. And I sit down at the desk, and we go about our class. And literally, from that day on, it was pretty fucking awkward going to that class, but for the most part, it was okay. And that's kind of the story time of how I got detention for fucking catching my teacher taking a fucking selfie. And to this day, I don't know who it was for. Whether it was for her boyfriend or Instagram, I don't know. But like, yeah, just fucking awkward, man. So awkward. But yeah, that's pretty much the time that I walked in on my teacher taking a selfie and got detention for it. And I thought it was pretty fucking funny and ridiculous. So if you guys found this funny and enjoyed the story time, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Leave your guys' stories in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace.